Hi, I'm Tom, and I am here to talk about experience I had and my wife had and my son had at Nova. My son has alcohol and pot addiction issues, and I'm just here to talk about what we did. We noticed when he was at the end of his college career, which was about 5 years ago. The impact of TJ's addiction in the family was subtle at first and incredibly negative before we started aggressively addressing it, meaning Nova. TJ's addictions led to unearthing either underlying mental health problems or creating mental health problems. That's still not clear. The family, my wife and I had different views on how to deal with it, but first of all, we ignored it way too long. And our views were, she was interested in taking a very aggressive approach early on, and I was worried about things like if he chose not to do that and we had to kick him out of the house, what might happen to him in terms of jail or living on the street or even taking his own life. So over time, the differences of opinion with my wife and I dealing with TJ affected our relationship to some extent, and also his brother and sister got more distant because he was harder to deal with. I think the most important thing is you will know that there's a problem way before you do anything if you're like us, and that's a mistake. I think once you recognize that you need help, you've got to go get it as fast as you can because it's not going to get better on its own. And I think the risk is that as you put it off, sometimes because it's easier to put it off than it is to deal with it, I think the problem can grow. But absolutely, nothing will get better unless you recognize you've got someone with a problem and you yourself and your family have a problem as a result of that, and you need to get on with it and you need to deal with it as quickly as you get to that point. Everything I learned about addiction, I learned here. They have a program on Saturdays where you can come up and you can spend the afternoon with your son, and you can bring his siblings. The program is run by a counselor. All of the people in this facility are real-life people who have had addictions and who are, so far, beating them. So they talk from knowledge, they don't talk from, and experience, they don't talk from, say, book learning. And they teach you a lot about the impact on the family, and you sit there and listen to what they say, and you interact with them, and you say, this is what's been going on with us, and this is really clear. You learn that the disease is a disease. It's not something you should be ashamed of. It's something you need to figure out how to deal with and how to help the person get better. And I think the experience at Nova was incredibly educational, eye-opening, and valuable for all of us. The biggest challenge is doing something about it. It's much easier to go about your life and try and ignore what's going on around you. Take the promises from your loved one who he will break every time, and hope for something to change. And if you do that, I think you're going to have to deal with it eventually. It's just you're going to go through a lot more pain waiting for the time to come when you realize you have to deal with it. It's not going away. They're not going to get better on their own, and I didn't know that before.